Well, hi everyone, and greetings from Northern Michigan. This is Bob the Science Guy. Today we have part two of our interview with sleeping warrior Anthony Riley and Arwen concerning the 7 housekeeping questions of the globe Earth debate. Now, currently we're up to what forces cause the sun and the moon to orbit over the flat Earth. Sleeping Warrior has given his answer, and today it's Arwen's turn, and then we'll finish up the questions.
Okay, so Arwen, you're going to go next? Okay.
Right. So I completely disagree with most of what Riley just said. Although it's pretty cool that you do know the disk-based assumptions so well. So I gotta applaud you for that at least. But first off, you know what? Repeat the question again because it's been a long time. What was it again?
What force causes the sun and the moon to revolve above the flat Earth?
Right. Okay, so first off, it doesn't revolve around a flat Earth because that would be a presumption that the flat Earth would be round in orientation, and we don't know that for sure. So second off, you don't need any forces when there's basically only apparent things, optical things involved, and no proven physical aspect. So everything that the globe of the heavens entails, including the sun and the moon, seem to be very much light-based only in their nature. And whatever their strange rotational, everything seems to rotate one way or another. Well, I'm starting to theorize that it may be the ether. Like every time the ether gets involved in anything, there seems to be rotation every time. So I think that if the ether is actually electrically feeding the optical manifestation of the globe of the heavens in some way by the design of this realm, then, well, simply because the ether is rotating, all these things seem to be rotating as they do. And I don't know why the moon and the sun, why the speeds, why their exact pathways. It just seems to be set like a mechanism. And I don't know what exactly causes those patterns to manifest exactly the way they do.
Arwen, if I could be really sure on what you're saying that the Earth, the sun and the moon rotate with the ether, which is rotating above the flat Earth?
No, they don't rotate above anything. They don't have an actual location. They only have an angular location in relation to observers, which is always in a demi-sphere surrounding our sight, unless there's something in between like clouds or mountains or whatever.
Okay, so we have optical effects that don't have physical form in a rotating ether with angular acuity and demispheres. Okay, Arwen. Anthony, at least you said you don't know, so I guess you kind of win this round.
All right, the next question, when I came up with these questions, it was done based on a poll on my YouTube channel. So you're going to have to bear with me on question number 6. What is the airspeed of an unladen swallow?
Can I ask why this is not a non sequitur question?
Is it an African swallow?
What is the relevance of this question except for distracting us with references to Monty Python's Holy Grail?
Okay, well, if you choose not to answer it, that's your choice. But that is question number 6 of housekeeping.
It's a very distracting question. Seriously.
All right.
Well, actually, this is a bit of a trick question, and I put this in myself to catch people like Anthony and Arwen. This is a variation of the Google interview question. How many golf balls fit on a school bus? Who the hell knows? The question is can the applicant identify the key information that they need to solve the problem and then set the problem up to be solved? Now, one of the listeners actually did ask whether it was an African swallow. All right. Now, to give you an example of a correct answer on this, and there is a correct answer. If you look at the stroke rate of the wings of a European swallow, it's about 12 to 15 beats per second. Each beat covers 0.55 meters. So it's a very simple mathematical problem to figure out that the average speed of a European swallow is approximately 8 to 11 meters per second. An African swallow is a little bit slower, and that's probably about 6 to 8 meters per second. There is indeed an answer. You could also use examples like, well, I'd time them as they crossed a river to see how long it took them to fly straight across the river. I know the distance across the river, I can time them. There is an answer to this question, but you have to be able to calculate and understand the math problem behind it. Both Anthony and Arwen failed this problem miserably.
Okay, question number 7, if you would like to go on to that. How do solar and lunar eclipses occur on a flat Earth?
Well, how do they occur on a ball Earth?
Anthony, that's not the question. It's how they occur on a flat Earth.
This is good. I want to hear this. Riley, you mentioned Anthony, Sleeping Warrior, sorry. One time you mentioned this body, Lilith. And I don't know if you still kind of mention it or I'll shut up.
No, Lilith is of the moon.
Yeah, Lilith's the black moon.
Yeah, Lilith is for the moon.
I don't know how it works. I don't agree with the explanation given by the ball Earth model because the evidence doesn't match it. But how it works on a flat plane.
Rahu, it's Rahu.
I think there's another celestial body up there, to be honest.
Okay, so you feel there's another celestial body up there.
Yes.
And that's your
Rahu
final answer, Riley?
The black disk of Rahu and Ketu, they
Hold
are
on, Arwen, let Riley round up first. You're going to have a chance, man.
Yeah, just there is a black moon up there. It's referenced in Raphael's Ephemeris that's published every single year with the positions of all the celestial bodies. And in Raphael's Ephemeris, it details a black body. They call it the black moon, called Lilith. Now, I don't know what Lilith is, and every time I try researching it, it comes up with some astrological reference to some kind of god. But there's a celestial body up there called Lilith, and we don't know anything about it. We don't know how it interacts, but they do know it's there, whatever it is. And I think that there's something to do with Lilith in the explanation, but I couldn't tell what because I don't know what Lilith is.
Lilith, the name has a lot of dark legends to it. They love that name in the goth scene, just saying.
Lilith in the zodiac signs, the black moon and what it means in astrology. Astrology's dark angel, the black moon Lilith, brings out the sex goddess in you. She's your sexual instinct, your inner temptress, that irresistible something that you can't put your finger on. I guess that pretty much says it all. I guess that's why we have eclipses.
Right. What causes eclipses? Well, what causes the
Solar
light
and
phenomena
lunar eclipses.
in a whole... doesn't really matter. Any eclipses, any of the phenomena. What causes them? Well, what causes the light to manifest the way it does in the first place? We would have to understand the nature of how it is manifesting what we're even seeing. The kind of the light signature that causes the apparent image that we get to see that differentiates so much. Just look at the moon with its very, very unique, almost distinctly physical appearing hologram as it is, but also things like Saturnus. It's just, it has a very distinct signature, the light, that causes that visual to be present. And how the eclipses manifest, it's one of the bigger core mysteries about it. The only thing that I can say is that every time I see it, it always looks like there's something rolling in front of the entrance of a cave. It doesn't look like something is getting in front of a light. No, it looks like something is rolling. A big stone is rolling in front of the entrance of a cave, closing it off. That's really what it looks like to me every time.
Well, I don't really think I need to add anything to that.
Can I ask you a couple of questions, Bob?
That was it. That was the 7th question, right?
That's the 7 questions.
Thank you.
Jose.
I appreciate everybody here.
That was it.
I may have a couple of minutes here, Anthony, if you'd like to ask maybe one. I'm working.
Yeah, I can
right
let
now.
it roll for another 15, 20 minutes, maybe tops.
In the context of Newton's laws of motion, An object at rest will remain at rest unless acted upon by a force. Agreed?
Do you have a question?
Yeah. I just want to make sure that
Is that your question, that whether or not I agree that in Newton's laws, an object at rest will remain at rest, or an object in motion will remain at motion unless acted upon by an unbalanced force? Is that the one question that you want to ask?
No, I'm just making sure that we don't.
Please go ahead and ask your question then.
What stops the atmosphere from bursting off into space?
Gravity.
You know, the
Oh,
gravity.
how does it do it? How does it do it?
Define gravity.
No.
You know, Sun Tzu said that if you wait by the river long enough, the bodies of your enemy will float down. This is a good example of what that means. This was a non-confrontational interview where we just asked basic housekeeping questions of a couple of very prominent members of the Flat Earth community. Questions that they couldn't answer, but that didn't stop them. They just went ahead and answered anyhow. I especially like the Black Moon Lilith. I thought that was a very nice touch. Now, this is a good lesson too in how to deal with flat earthers. Don't play the definition game with them. If they want to ask you a question, ask them if that's the one question that they wanted to get from you. If not, ask the question that you truly want to ask, because I only have time for one question. And I gave my answer, and then they tried the definition game again. Well, define gravity. No. Drove them insane. But in any event, this was a very good interview. Everybody was very decent to each other. There was no yelling or screaming. And basically, this is one of those situations you just give people rope and they'll figure out how to tie a knot. So, this is Bob the Science Guy signing out from Northern Michigan. Thank you for stopping by and visiting with me. I hope you'll join us in the future by hitting that little like and subscribe button down in the lower right corner. Thank you very much for your patience this week. The studio's almost done, and hopefully next week I'll be back on track. So, take care.